There is the old model and what we call the NKU model for getting courses online. In the old model, the one I went through, the faculty member was expected to become an Uber instructor. He or she was trained for months, given paid release time, incentives, and at the end of 2 years expected to become a productive mentor that could handle every technological situation. The problem with this model is that it seldom worked. Those of us who did become Uber instructors you could not keep, and courses that did not have technically competent instructors did not get online. Technology is moving so quickly for the old model to be effective. An alternative approach is to create an Uber team of designers that pair up with instructors to fill in technology gaps and do the bulk of multimedia work. The model frees up instructors to work on basic content creation and pedagogy, allowing even our most technically incompetent instructors to produce the richest technological ideas, which our design team turns into reality, producing the next level of learning experience. In the case of our faculty learning community, we go a step further. We make the faculty members a part of the design team. Our design team is a cross between a research group and a Disney-like design shop. We train by total immersion and are dedicated to pushing the edge of the envelope of technology. I tell my students that we do not push the edge. We are not doing our job. We typically write about 3,000 lines of computer code a week, and many of the software packages that we are using are in alpha and beta release. Once again, we are seeking to gain the global advantage through innovation. We have 5 students and are adding 2 more based on a Duke Energy contract that we just received. In addition, we have 10 volunteers and 3 consultants. One of our consultants paid to be part of our group. Commonly, students do directed studies and internships with our group. Where did all the volunteers come from? Talent and context are attractors in the global arena. Instructors send students to do directed studies to produce learning context, and we get internships and volunteers based on life cycle reductions. Employers are no longer willing to train you from the ground up. They want job skills, and people know that, and are willing to work for free to gain those skill sets. The dynamics are really difficult to capture, so I've decided to show you an example. This is an example of an open source Jeopardy game we just released. Alyssa Gilley, one of our senior design students, pulls together a group of 3 other people: an instructor, Mary York, in the back, who requested the game, a directed study, Dina Ackenberg, in the front, and another designer, Joel Gatrab, at the top. Alyssa does the coding, Joel prepared the graphics, and Mary provided the feedback through the process and wrote the questions. Dina, our directed study, who knows nothing about programming, learns XML and the basic database programming required, and loads the questions into the game. We set her down in front of a computer, gave her a few instructions, and said, "Start coding." At the beginning of the process, her head was spinning, but by the end she was speaking the language and very proud of her accomplishments. The code was released to the community on Google Code and is now number 4 on the web. Let's take a look at it. What is important here is that we are number 4 on the list. Companies pay much money to be found high on the list. I know a company that pays $100 a click just to be number 2. However, we paid nothing. The first 2 weeks we were not even on the charts. Yesterday number 5, today number 4, a few spots below YouTube. Stats show that when people search, they seldom go beyond page 1. Being near the top is essential to taking center stage of the global arena. We have a few other projects, some that are number 1, but this one is pretty interesting. Let's take a look at the Google code. This is Google code, set up with a place to download the code from, to look at a demo, to look at my blog, and to look at a description of the game. Let's take a look at the game. This is Jeopardy, and you can switch characters. Go ahead and start the game. And just like the game, you can select a question and decide if you want to answer it. And if you do so, just choose one. And I got that one wrong, but if you get it right, you get cheers and applause. So nice game. We're really proud of it, and we're very glad to release it free to anyone who wants it. I had mentioned earlier that present-day learning management systems will fail given shorter development cycles. The alternative approach is to use what we call the Google or AJAX approach. Google Maps run on a platform called AJAX, which stands for Asynchronous JavaScripting and XML. It is not a programming language, but a programming approach. And at the heart of AJAX is the asynchronous process, which means that you can submit a request for data from your server and continue what you are doing without waiting for page refresh. A close relative to AJAX is a RIA, which stands for a Rich Internet Application, and it runs in its own player, which we commonly know as the Flash player. And this is the programming platform that we are using, since it offers a huge amount of fluidity. From this platform, you get cross-platform, runs on a variety of browsers, 3D, databasing, live media, interface with open source, Flash, Air or desktop applications. But best of all, it is free for educators. And now the next slide is what makes the corporate giants quake in their boots. Over the past year, technology prices have dropped to the point that it is almost, and in many cases, free. Getting into the global arena could not be easier. It is about brain power, innovation, and connecting collaboratively for brief periods of time, passing and catching the ball. It really is a David and Goliath scenario. Corporate entities are falling behind in R&D and are getting creamed by companies the size of 5, 10, 15, 25 employees. Our corporate giants lack the fluidity to innovate as rapidly as the small companies. This is true for universities as well. We have a vast pool of untapped resources. In moving in the technology direction, universities have 4 options.